Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to share with you all the method that I use to study and memorize. So let's get started. So when I read a topic, I divide the page into two halves. One half contains questions and the other half contains answers. I ask myself the most important questions from the portion that I studied, and I write down the answers in the most simplest way so that I can retain better. And when I want to revise what I have studied, I fold this page into two halves and I start to question myself and test whether I am able to retrieve information or not. If I know this answer, perfect. If I don't know, then I can always flip and look at the answers. Fluorescent dye test positive, corneal ulcer. Fluorescent dye test negative. It could be due to uveitis or deep ulcers. Correct. What is the sequelae of corneal ulcer? I think I forgot. Yeah, it is desmetocele and stromal abscess. So this method is very useful to remember things. This method has another advantage too. Instead of asking questions, you can actually look at the answer and reason out why it happens. For example, what test would you do to diagnose corneal ulcer? Yeah, it is fluorescent dye test, correct? Why would a desmetocele and stromal abscess happen? It is because of corneal ulcer. This method will be very helpful if you have more time to prepare for your exams. But if you have less time, then don't do it. And you also have to be very creative with your questions. The more question you ask, the better you will understand. You can also study by comparing two different topics. Here I have compared nitrate toxicity and cyanide toxicity. And I have also highlighted this tabular column in pink so that in this entire page, I know that I need to concentrate more on this particular topic. And if you see carefully, I have only written the key important points. So in nitrate toxicity, the mucous membrane will be gray, but in cyanide toxicity, it will be red in color. And in nitrate toxicity, you will see methemoglobin, and in cyanide toxicity, you will see cyanmethemoglobin. And the treatment for nitrate toxicity is methylene blue, and for cyanide it is sodium thiosulfate. You can use this method when you have very less time to prepare. The third important tip for remembering better is to draw. In this page I have taken notes on surgery, and these are the suture pattern that we apply to repair a tendon. Just by looking at this picture, I can remember a lot, and I have also taken condensed notes in the side. Using few words to describe a concept is very helpful to remember. Here I have made a tabular column for different suture patterns: inverting sutures, appositional sutures, and tension sutures. So I have written all the sutures that come under particular category, and I've also highlighted the sutures that I always forget, so that when I revise, I will give more importance to that particular word and I can remember better. And you don't have to be an artist to draw in your notes. As long as your drawings make sense, it is perfect. Here I have taken notes on hypothyroidism, and here I have drawn a tragic dog face. I know that this sketch doesn't look anything like tragic dog face, but I remember better that hypothyroid dogs will have tragic dog face, and it is often associated with myxedema coma. just by drawing a simple sketch can make you remember much better. And the amount of information you retain is incredible. And in this page, you can see that I have drawn a lot of orthopedics. Like, I suck at orthopedics. That's why I have taken special effort to make sure that I remember the concept properly. I have drawn a picture of Legg-Perthes disease. I have drawn a dog that has non-weight bearing lameness. And I have drawn a normal anatomy of like a joint with all the ligaments with color coding, so I remember better. And I've also written the surgical repair in simple words. The more simple it is, the better you will remember. And here I have also drawn a skyline view of patellar luxation. And in this page I have drawn about ticks and Lyme multiplex assays and more orthopedics. And if you see in this page, I have actually drawn a lateral canthotomy, the eye procedure. This is a simple diagram, but actually it really helps me to understand the concept better. And here I have drawn the picture of bladder. I know it doesn't look like a bladder, but I understand better just by drawing this. In this page, I have drawn a nephron and important notes on renal physiology. So this page contains all the information that I need to remember. And I've also color coded the nephron based on the anatomy and functionality. And I have also mentioned what biochemical analytes will be absorbed and what substance will be excreted. And in the bottom you can also see that I have asked myself the potential questions, and I have also mentioned like which diuretic will act on which part of a nephron. Color coding, drawing and asking questions helps a lot to remember. When you are studying subjects like orthopedic surgery and anatomy, I highly recommend you all to draw all the anatomical structures and color code them so that you can remember better and this picture stays in your mind when you take an exam. Here I have drawn many things about orthopedics because it's a visual subject. And in this page again you can see I have drawn a forelimb anatomy, and I have drawn different sesamoid fractures, suspensory ligaments and knee conditions, gait abnormalities, etc. And the amount of effort you put in to remember things will definitely reflect in your marks. So this method I only use to memorize etiologies for diseases and important facts. So what I do is I again divide the page into two halves. So in one half I write down the disease condition, and in the second half I write the etiology names. So in that way I can fold a page and I can ask myself what is the causative agent. So for example, what is the causative agent of heartworm? It is Dirofilaria immitis. I also use this technique in another way. I read out the causative agent and I will test myself whether I'm able to remember the disease condition or not. So Rickettsia rickettsii will cause Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Yes. And in this page you can also see I have marked on some disease conditions that I probably did not remember when I studied. So what I do is I mark the ones that I did not get it correct. So when I do a second or third revision, I know that the marked questions are the ones that I always forget, and I will put extra efforts to remember better. Pharmacology is easily my weak subject. So what I did is I made a tabular column, and in one column I have written the drugs, and in another column I have written the mechanism of action, and in the third column I have written the disease conditions to which we need to give the drug. And I have also categorized based on the system. Here this is a cardiopulmonary system, so all these drugs can be used only in cardiopulmonary diseases. Similarly, I have made one for emergency conditions, and here I have made notes for urinary system drugs and seizure management drugs. And here I have concised all the information that I need to remember about NSAID drugs. classified NSAIDs based upon their mechanism of action, and also written the general side effect of NSAID drugs. The information here is so concise that I don't even have to open the big textbook and read 4-5 pages. Writing down and memorizing general side effect for each and every class of drug is very important, because even if you don't know the specific side effect, if you know a general side effect, it will definitely help you. Finally, creating your own mnemonic will definitely help you. I always got confused between what causes cutaneous larval migrants and visceral larval migrants, so I just got this idea. I used the alphabet to remember CLM and VLM. So ABC, ankylostoma, causes cutaneous larval migrants. TUV, Toxocara, causes visceral larval migrants. So in this way, I will never forget this. I also made another mnemonic to remember sensitivity and specificity. So the mnemonic is: sensitive people have negative mindset, but happy ones are specifically positive. I know this doesn't make sense, but we all know that a high sensitive test will have few false negatives, so you can trust a true negative. And we all know that a highly specific test, you can actually trust a positive result. So this mnemonic helped me to remember the sensitivity and specificity. I highly encourage you all to make your own mnemonics and funny stories behind each and every concept, so that you can never forget it. So that's it, guys. These are the methods that I used to study and memorize. I hope it was useful to you all. I wish you all the best for your exams, and I'll see you all in a different video. Till then, take care and bye.